What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Johnny Bravo 6, and I'm back with a review of the new Netflix movie, The Gray Man. When the CIA's most skilled operative, whose true identity is known to no one, accidentally uncovers dark agency secrets, a psychotic former colleague puts a bounty on his head, setting off a global manhunt by international assassins. And this movie is directed by the Russo Brothers, who you may know from directing a lot of MCU movies like The Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So naturally, when I heard about this movie, I was pretty excited. It's directed by the Russo Brothers. It's a spy movie, kind of like Captain America Winter Soldier. And on top of that, it has some of my favorite actors of all time in it. And then critics, of course, got to see it early. Reviews started coming out, and it was getting mixed to mostly negative reviews. So I kind of didn't know what to expect going into this, but to be honest, I was very pleasantly surprised. Is it the most well-made movie I've ever seen? No. Does it like stack up to Winter Soldier and some of their other MCU movies? No. But Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans completely carry this movie. They are so fun to watch. Now, admittedly, Ryan Gosling is one of my favorite actors of all time. He's definitely in my top 3 favorite actors personally. And obviously, I love Chris Evans from his days as Cap. But ever since he stepped away from the MCU, he's been picking some really interesting roles that I've really enjoyed. Ryan Gosling stars as our charming, badass hero 6, and Chris Evans as the batshit crazy mustached villain Lloyd Hansen. Ryan Gosling being the hero is just another Thursday, but seeing Chris Evans be such an amazing villain was really cool to see. It was really fun. They're not like the most fleshed out characters. They give you like just enough to understand their motivations and just what they're doing in the movie. But like I said, it really is the performances that just elevate these characters and make them so good. Ana de Armas is also in this movie, who's another one of my favorite actresses out there. And she's a badass. But I feel like the script didn't really do her justice. You don't really get to know anything really about her except for the fact that she's a badass. And it's a shame because, like I said, she's such a great actress and she's in the movie a decent amount. But they just never really took her character to that next level that I was kind of hoping for. I mean, the story overall isn't the greatest. It's actually kind of a mess. This movie has so many different changes in locations and time periods. It kind of gets obnoxious after a while because it's just like we're going fucking everywhere nonstop. It's kind of crazy. Like there's genuinely some points in the movie where it feels like there's more title cards coming up on screen than actual plot happening in the movie, which is just nuts. It kind of feels like they just want to go to a bunch of really beautiful locations, shoot a whole bunch of action scenes, and then they wrote the story around the places that they were able to go, which obviously isn't the greatest thing when you're trying to tell a story and make a movie. And while the locations do look great, there's also like an absurd amount of drone shots in this movie for like no reason. And some of them admittedly are kind of cool, and then some of them are just like kind of laughably like what is going on, like kind of just swerving around everywhere. It's a little ridiculous. But it is an action movie, and in my opinion, the action in this movie is pretty good. There are a lot of cuts in the action scenes, but they didn't really bother me that much personally. It was never so much cutting or so many quick cuts that you couldn't tell what was going on. So I was fine with it. There's genuinely some action scenes that I love in this movie. Basically, everything that happens in Prague is awesome. Some really cool action stuff in there. And the title card matchup of Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans really delivers, in my opinion. I thought it was a really cool scene, and it was definitely worth the build-up. There was some nice hand-to-hand combat in that scene, which actually made me think about one of the scenes in The Winter Soldier where Bucky and Cap are like flipping around the knife and stuff. That was really cool to see. Another small problem I had with the movie was the sound design. I just feel like the punches could have sounded like they hit a little bit harder. The stabs be a little bit more brutal, like you kind of feel them. But maybe it's because it's a PG-13 movie, even though this is a pretty brutal PG-13 movie. I think I'm honestly just really spoiled by the John Wick movies where they just have great sound design and you feel everything that happens to everybody in that movie. I feel like I'm coming off very negative in this review so far. I want to reiterate, I did really enjoy the movie, but I also can personally see why some critics are kind of pooping on it a little bit. The movie has some flaws, and I was noticing them while I was watching it, obviously, but I was enjoying watching the movie so much that I kind of just put them to the back of my head, ignored it, and just went on the journey and had a great time. Like, even though the story itself is messy, it was intriguing enough to keep me interested, even though it's kind of all over the place at times. I think the action does deliver. Like I said, it's pretty brutal for PG-13, so there are definitely a couple moments in the movie where I was like, oh shit, like kind of taken aback and surprised by them doing some genuine cool stuff in the action, some kind of brutal stuff. One of them involving a firework, which was crazy. And even though the script isn't as tight as I would want, just story-wise and keeping it on track and character development-wise, when Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans are just like quipping at each other and just quipping in general, I think it's also just because they're just awesome dudes. It's funny, it's fun to watch, it's fun, it's a fun movie. I don't know what else I can say. I thought it was a very fun movie. It may not be the best movie or even the best action movie you'll ever see, but I think you'll be entertained at least. I'm obviously very biased because I really love Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. Maybe it won't work as much for other people because they're not biased like me. To wrap this up, overall, I can see why the critics aren't loving this movie, but I was just having so much fun watching Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling just go at it. I really didn't care in the moment, but the movie may lack in filmmaking and story. I think it makes up for it with just pure fun and some amazing performances. The Gray Man is clocking in at an 85% on the Bravo barometer. If you guys have Netflix accounts and you need something to watch, definitely give this one a try. But if you guys enjoyed this video, just make sure to drop a like on it, subscribe for more reviews. If you want to see me talk about movies, listen to music, and play some games, also to make sure to head over to my Twitch channel, Johnny Bravo 6. We're live Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at around 8 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.